Hey everybody, it's Gail, and I have these phenomenal little slippers to show you today. So these come to us from a Japanese yarn company called Goiso, Goyso, and they have an enormous catalog of free patterns. Um, and it is that your mileage may vary. You have to kind of be into the aesthetic they put out there, but absolutely worth going through and like checking out what they have. I will link directly to their website in the basement because they don't have it separated into crochet and knit on Ravelry, so it's a little harder to just find the crochet stuff. Um, so they make these patterns. I've had a big collection of their patterns for a long time. They're all PDFs and they're all charts because Japanese patterns generally are done as charts. So if you don't like charts, this is not going to probably be a pattern you'll make. But if you're curious about charts, this is a really good pattern to start with because you only have these two pieces, and you don't have to worry about, when you're making like a charted top, you usually have to go between several pages of schematics to figure out what matches to what, where to increase, where to decrease, and that sort of thing. And in this case, it's just two charts, very simple, nice, good way to get used to working with a chart if you haven't worked with charts at all or a lot, or you've been kind of wary about it. Anyway, all of that being said, let's break it down. I really only need one. So we have the sole here, and we have the upper. And the upper is made of a double strand of DK weight yarn and a 4mm hook. It is worked on its own and then attached to the sole. And the way that this is worked is you start with a row of double crochet and then you work single crochets with a double treble stitch worked where stated on the chart to create this little textured decoration here. So I love this because a lot of the time you see this kind of texture work and like statement stitch work done in bobble stitch, and I have a love-hate relationship with bobble stitch. So having another way to do it that is not bobble stitch is awesome. Yeah, you just work a double treble, and then when you go to the next stitch and you do a single crochet again, it bends in half, and so that's how you get that. I really like that. And then after you've done the main part of this upper, you work the top and the bottom in reverse single crochet, also known as crab stitch, and it gives you that nice little final detail. And then the soles I actually made pretty differently from the pattern. So the pattern calls for bulky weight yarn held double, an H hook, and then decorative cord, and you are supposed to work the double strand of bulky yarn over the cord, and that creates the sole. And the idea there is that the decorative cord is going to help you make that sole more quickly, and it'll be a little denser and a little easier to walk in. I didn't do that because I didn't have decorative cord or bulky yarn in the house, and I just wanted to make something. So I did a quadruple strand of Red Heart Super Saver on that H hook, and that was dumb. I am not wearing these today because I did that to myself. But I was wearing these after I did that to myself. Let's put it that way. The other thing is because I didn't use the decorative cord, which would have added width to the sole as I worked it, I had to fudge my way through making a sole that was going to be long enough and wide enough for my foot without being super huge. And it is a little big on me. Like, I would say probably about that much of the sole is hanging out when I put my foot in here, which is a little more than I'd like. But, I knew that I was taking that chance when I was making it this way, so big fucking deal. But yeah, that decorative cord is meant to help you add that width really quickly. And now they only have one size for the sole, but it's very easy to continue increasing. It increases at the top and the bottom evenly. And what I ended up doing was going up to 25 stitches along the edge and then working a slip stitch all the way up and then doing slip stitches for all of the increases up here. So it's also 25, and then coming back down and ending my slip stitches where the increases started here so that it wasn't getting any wider and it wasn't getting much longer on that final round. And when they say decorative cord, I'm assuming they mean something like macrame twine, or like the cord you buy if you tie up your curtains. Any of that kind of stuff is going to work. Just kind of a sturdier cord that's going to be able to take some wear and tear. Um, yeah, so I haven't done it yet, but I will be putting shugu on the bottom of these so I don't slide across my floor, which I've talked about previously. And the last thing I want to mention, which is very important if you're not used to working Japanese patterns do not include the number of turning chains you need when they tell you how many to chain. And they put this on the pattern itself. It's written on the English version of this pattern. But I also like to say it so that you can look for that. So when you look at the chart for like this upper, it says to chain 24, but then to start that first row, which is double crochets, you need to chain an extra 3 to have that first double crochet as the turning chain and then work across. So that's just something to keep an eye out for. Like I said, there's just an absolute shit ton of patterns on the Goiso website that I really recommend you just enjoy going through and seeing what you can find. I'm sure you can find something you like, or possibly nothing you like. Again, it's an aesthetics thing. So yeah, those are these. As always, if you enjoy what I do here, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, leave a comment, all that fun stuff. And I update about every 10 days. So I will see you in 10 days.